Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Spark Reynolds Weekly Podcast, YouTube stream. A little bit
That's
of this
right.
and
Yeah, Facebook live broadcast, YouTube stream, podcast,
that.
all the above.
Absolutely. Last week, if you joined us, we talked about the invisible expenses, 12 of them that cost you about 12,000 a year, which is kind of like, ooh, in your face when you realize the things that you're really spending money on.
Down the
And
toilet. Flushed right down
please,
the toilet.
as you're joining us, let us know where you're coming from. If you have any questions, it doesn't even have to pertain to this um, subject today. Just let
We just
us
like
know.
hearing your voices.
Right. Or seeing them, I guess.
Yeah.
This week, we're going to talk about the landlord and surveillance.
Seeing people's faces.
Yeah. So, this is the day. I mean, you see it on the news and everywhere else where, there's cameras everywhere. So you can't, it's like Big Brother's watching. But how much can Big Brother, the landlord, get
Right.
away
Hey, how much of a big
with
brother can you
watching?
become?
Right, right.
Where's the line?
So basically, a question we get a lot is can you even put surveillance cameras and recording devices like on your properties? Now, when you own like a large apartment community, definitely for parking lots and outdoors and whatnot.
Public
And
spaces, public
right.
areas,
hmm
communal
And
areas,
yes,
not your
absolutely. And
tenants'
and
bathrooms.
actually that could even work for you in a lot of ways because if your parking lot has some issues, maybe there's some car thefts or destruction, and you have these cameras, especially if you put, this is patrolled or whatnot, it can actually prevent some of the problems that you might have. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a selling point. I mean, it's like having a security guard, right? I mean, these are security measures that you can use to help sell your units to market them. Safety, security, uh, but they cannot be inside the units.
No, no, you don't want to
No
be the
cameras inside the units.
looking at bedrooms, kitchens,
Yeah,
none
yeah,
of
exactly.
that. No.
And you
um,
hear cases of this happening, right? Where landlords have been caught occasionally having hidden cameras in tenants' bedrooms, in their bathrooms, and not only do they get sued for that, but there can
mhm.
also be criminal penalties for that kind of peeping tom behavior as well.
And that's even if if somebody's doing something wrong and they actually see that you have a camera in there and they were not notified, you get in trouble. So
Right.
even if they do something wrong, you
Even
still
if
end
they're out
up
there murdering people in your unit, if you put that camera in there legally, doesn't matter. You're the bad guy.
right.
Maybe
It's
that's
kind
maybe
of
a little bit of a hyperbole.
yeah, but it's still you got to be careful. So it's like all we talk a lot about CYA, cover your butt. But
Yeah.
anyway, just to move on, you can get sued. Landlords are a target anyway, and
Yeah.
I'm sure if you all been landlords for a certain amount of time, real estate investors, you pretty much know that so a lot of tenants. We have an article about the professional tenants who know the ins and outs, and suing landlords is something that they do. So this is
Right.
another reason that a landlord would get sued. So one of the what can you do to protect? Well, one is notify, let them know. We do have surveillance cameras around the property to protect the outside of the property.
Right. And
So just
they shouldn't be hidden. They should be clearly visible.
right. And let them know, like we talked about earlier, this is to protect the property and you as our residents, because we care about you.
Yeah, and it is
Um,
there to protect the tenants. I mean, it's their cars in the parking lot, right? I mean, so yeah, I mean, it
exactly.
is for their safety and security. It's not just to protect your building.
But the biggest take here is that they cannot be hidden and they cannot be in a tenant's personal home.
Right.
And Just to let you know real quick, as a realtor, one of the big things right now is maybe they'll have an open house, or maybe it's a vacant house that they're showing, and a lot of times the sellers will put recording devices throughout the house, and they even now this depends on state, but for most states they can't do that unless the agent knows that there are recording devices in the home. So even that, you have to be careful, which is crazy because somebody's gone into your home. But
Yeah, they don't have the right or expectation of privacy in that case. You have possession of the property.
yeah, the rules are very odd. And
The
you know
landlord's
what?
always the bad guy
Right.
in most states.
It's
That's
true.
the
And
bottom line.
keep an eye on things, because this stuff is going to change back and forth over time. Because this stuff is getting more sophisticated. Sometimes, you don't even know where a camera is, and it's so easy to hide them.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Now, a tenant may install a camera in their home, but obviously it can't look into any one of their neighbors' homes. And there's peeping Tom is the
Peeping
term for
toms.
that, or
Yeah.
peeping Jane, or whatever you want to call it. Um, Now, you usually don't have to let your landlords know, but check with the states, because some states you may have to verbalize that.
If you set up
Um,
security cameras in a rental unit, if
right.
the tenant sets up security cameras within their own rental unit where they live.
Correct. Correct. So,
And can landlords restrict tenants from setting up security
in
cameras?
some cases and in some states, yes. So you
Okay, so it's
really,
state by state.
really, yes, each state is different. So you definitely want to check with your state regulations and legislation around this. And again, this stuff is changing. As it becomes more sophisticated, there are more court cases now of crimes being caught on camera. And, we're going to see somewhere down the line, somebody murdered something, it was on camera, and they lost their privacy. So then that's going to change the whole arena of these things. So,
Right.
it was a big, well, anyway. So to, to wrap it up, just so that you don't get sued, make sure that they are outside. Make sure that
Public
your
areas. They can be
public,
indoors, but in like public hallways,
right,
right? I
your
mean,
common areas. Yes.
yeah, common areas, communal areas, public spaces around
Right.
the rental property. Never
But you
ever
do have to
inside tenants' units.
let your renters know.
Yeah.
So you want to let them know that there is that. Make sure you check your state laws, and don't restrict your tenants from having these things until you check your state law and make sure it's okay. And you can actually put that in a lease. Now, I don't know why a landlord would restrict that, but I know that there have been some cases where maintenance men, have acted not in the best way, and it was caught on camera. So I could see why some of the residents would use it. But again, you just want to be careful. So it's disclose, 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 and don't hide the camera, and don't put it in your house, and don't take pictures of neighbors'
The
houses.
neighbors.
It's all about privacy and common sense here.
Yeah.
And
Don't be a peeping Tom.
no, no. And it's hard because it's so easy these days. You just,
Cameras everywhere. Everyone's watching.
you can't even shop anymore. If you shop and you go out, like I don't even like to go out without makeup, but occasionally we all run out to the grocery store without makeup, and then all of a sudden, you see yourself on social media. So
Yeah, I run into that problem all the time.
that is it.
No, I don't. All right, Denny, any final thoughts before we call this episode complete?
No, I don't think so. Please, everybody, send us, what things that you want to talk about. Any kind of subject that has to do with real estate investing or landlording, property management, whatever you want to hear.
Yeah, we want to talk about what you want to hear about. This is not a rant, right? It's not a one way. Yes, we have a microphone, but we want it to be a telephone. we want to have a two-way dialogue with you and talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So on that note, stay in touch, support@sparkrental.com, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Absolutely. Have a good day, guys.